Yeah. Shining out like with these. I paid the price for these. I've been about it, they can't get around it. Walk through in the club, then it start getting crowded. Just got me a chain and the diamonds is shining. They all VVS cause the paper is piling. I wonder why I'm always far ahead of things. Did it myself, paid an arm and leg for things. Your nigga bought you a CZ wedding ring. I think it's
Hello, my name's Andrew Carey. I'm a photographer. I am 20 years old and I'm born and raised in the Bronx. My Instagram is Andrew Carey X. What inspired me to start photography? Well, that's a great question. When I was younger, growing up, I always watched YouTube, and I started off wanting to learn how to create videos and content of that realm. But when I went to college, I was able to take a studio art class, and it was photography, film photography to be exact. And I was in a dark room. I was shooting with the analog camera. This is a digital point and shoot camera, but it's film. So doing that made me love the process, and I don't think I could even switch over back to digital anymore because it's almost mindless.
My name is Leo Mary Rodriguez. My Instagram handle is @directedbyleo, and I'm from the Bronx, New York. There's several things that inspired me to start photography and filmmaking. One of the biggest things was representation. At first I thought I wanted to be an actress or actor and be in front of the camera. So I would look at casting calls and I would do things like that, but I hit a lot of walls, and I said, you know what? So, when my mentor told me, if you can't find opportunities in front of the camera, why not look for opportunities behind the camera? And so that's where my career trajectory experience in photography and filmmaking have been. That started in high school. My freshman year of high school, I joined the film club there, and ever since then I went to school, University of Buffalo, and I majored in media studies with a concentration in video production. And after that, when I graduated in 2012, I bought a camera, and since then, I've been shooting since then, I would say since 2011.
Hi, my name is Kayla Wong. My Instagram is Farty with periods in between all the letters. I'm from Queens, New York, and I'm 19 years old. The thing that inspired me to start photography is I saw certain compositions. So it started with film mostly for me because I saw really cool shots in films, and I was how did they conduct that? And then when I bought my first camera, which was some bullshit camera, and I started taking photos with it, and it was I started taking photos of flowers and birds and things like that, and then it kind of inspired me to start taking pictures of people.
My name is Ashley Chan. I'm 21 years old and I'm from the Bronx. My Instagram is a.pics, so it's AYEDOTTPICS, a.pics. When I was back in high school, I took a class on photography with Mr. Blodgett, and I actually really liked it a lot. And so then I would go on about my everyday life, and I really like buildings. And I used to always say, oh, I wish I could get a really good picture of this building, or I wish I could capture the way this lights on this or whatever. So, and my mom actually got me this camera when I turned 17, I believe. Yeah, so ever since then I've been taking pictures on and off or around,
I usually want my photos to say, I guess, what I'm feeling or what I'm conveying. I currently have a job where I walk dogs, and in the neighborhood that I walk them in, I'm always catching something or seeing something that catches my eye that no one else would, and I would just snap a photo. So I guess I just want to convey like what I'm thinking in that moment. Photographers, every photo that we take, like our background and our history and just growing up plays a role in that. And so whether you grew up in like a rough neighborhood, you might take photos a certain way, or if you didn't have a parent growing up, then you might take photos another way because that's your perspective on life and the world.
I want my content to be vibrant and bright. I like when people feel happy when they look at the images. I like when people identify with the person that's in the image. So that's pretty much what I want people to perceive from my work.
Usually I want my photos, because I am a portrait photographer, I want my photos to say that these people are themselves, and I want each photo to speak for that person. So like, let's say I take a picture and somebody is wearing something significant, like they really enjoy their shirt, I would definitely make sure that that stands out in their picture, and I want it to say that each person is an individual themselves. They can be who they want to be in that one picture.
I really want my photos to kind of capture something that's really ignored or like dismissed, or like you just walk past every day and you don't really notice. Yeah, so something that like you don't really appreciate in every day, or you don't really think would be something you want to look at, but then later you look at it and you're like, that's actually pretty nice or pretty cool. You know?
What motivates me in photography has to be just a dream. Having a dream of making something of myself in art and making something of myself in New York City. People literally travel all over the world to come in New York City and like fulfill their dreams and their passions, and I have the opportunity to do it being born and raised in New York City, having the opportunity to take 2 film classes and learn things that people would never even think of learning, especially film, which people are saying is like a dying sort of art. I want to like make something for myself and really show people that you don't have to go to college or be so like hell-bent on getting a degree in something medical or something scientific to feel as though you are living your dream or you have enough money to be sustainable, to have like sustainable living in New York City, and that you are just, you're being a creative and you're being able to support yourself doing art. And photography for me won't just lead to just becoming a photographer for agencies or models or something. It'll eventually lead to connections to so many other things. I want to be able to go on tour with musicians and take their photos and travel all over the world with them. Hey, I might even be like scouted by an agency to model for them when I'm taking their photos. It's all just like a spiral effect and just a never-ending chain of like what if, like what could happen. And if you never put yourself out there, you'll never know.
I think that motivates me the most is where I'm from. I think that there's a lot of talent in the Bronx, and I like to collaborate with a lot of talent in this borough. And I think that even though we have talent, sometimes I don't see it as much on other platforms as I would see somebody from New York City or another state or things like that. So that's what motivates me the most, being seen and having people identify with me.
I think the thing that motivates me to take photos is that in my field, like, there's not many small-time photographers that are doing, well, there's a lot of photographers, but like small-time trying to represent the people in their community, if that makes sense. And I feel like photography has no bounds. Like, you don't need a good camera, you don't need all this fancy equipment, you don't need to use Photoshop to be a good photographer, you don't need to have those things, but I feel like having them is beneficial, you know, if that makes sense, because when people want to get into photography, they can do it with their phone, and it's really just as beautiful as if you do it with the camera. I don't want to make a statement so much like against the government or anything like that, but I do want to make a statement in saying that people don't realize their value and their worth and their love, and I feel like my photography encapsulates that. Is like when I am am taking the photo behind the camera, I see that person's worth, I see that person's love, and I want them to see it too when they're looking at my photos, if that makes sense. So emotionally, I would say that my photos don't make people cry or anything. It's just like, emotionally, I want you to feel something when I'm taking photos of you or like other people or anybody. Like, you should be like, damn, that's dope, or like, this composition is really great. And it's an emotional time for me because I'm happy to encapsulate what that person is, or like where the location that I'm shooting at, or like, I just like the flavor of it, and it makes me feel so great to take photos like that.
I mean, you can say it's intellectually or emotionally. It's more like just something I really like to do. Because growing up, I never really had like a hobby or something that I really liked. I dabble here and there, do this, little bit of that. But photography has always been something, well, for the past few years that it's consistent, something consistent that I like, I always enjoy, or that I always gain joy from doing.
When it comes to inspiration, I would say it's my family. I started taking photos in middle school when I was like super young, and I used to take photos with my phone all the time. My family saw that, and so my brother, I think in 2016, got me my first camera, and then a couple years later, my pops got me the Nikon D750 that I have now, and it's like that pushes me to keep on going forward because they saw that was something I enjoyed and something that I love to do, and they wanted me to continue doing that. So I guess in part I do it for them.
I have so many other photos that I do love, but the one that I just thought of that came to my mind was this one. It's basically a guy, he came with a group of his friends and they were all wearing like angelic kind of clothing, and he had a suit on, a white suit with like almost like aluminum foil reflective material, and he had angel wings, and I thought, let me capture this moment, and so when I took the photo, I tried to block everything else out, like the people, the venues, the stages, and just direct it on him and his wings to show like how angelic it was. And turns out he had like a key earring, and the name that when I posted it on my Instagram, I named it "You Are the Key." So it was just really convenient, and it was fun for me to like come up with a story with just one photo.
My most favorite piece that I did was actually a video on gentrification in the Bronx. This was actually something somebody commissioned me to do. I didn't know that there was gentrification happening in the Bronx. I didn't know the meaning of gentrification in the Bronx. So this piece really educated me about what was happening in my community. And the piece was titled Sister in Procession. Essentially, it was some type of performance art piece that required me and a group of people involved to go from Jerome starting at Lehman College actually, and it ended up over at the Yankee Stadium to demonstrate the locations that are going to be gentrified within the coming years.
There was this one shoot that I did with two people, and it was in June, like during Pride Month, and there was this exhibit at the South Street Seaport where it was like a bunch of like glass, right? It was like colored glass, right? And I shot them through the glass, and it was really nice. So, and then I got tagged in it for Pride Month, and it was really beautiful because like both of those people were a part of the LGBT community, and they said that my photos made them feel like good and represented in it. Like, it was a really good photo for them, if that makes sense.
Oh, I have a picture of the moon. Actually, it's one of my first pictures that I took when I first got my camera. I really like it because I always really like the moon. I take a lot of random moon pictures, but I feel like that was my first really good shot or shot that I really liked. So I just looked at it and I was like, I can't believe I took that, and I was like, I really like that, you know.
I have a bunch of cameras. I actually have a digital camera too, but I use that mainly when I use it hand in hand with my film. I recently bought this camera. It's a Canon SureShot Z135. I got it from a thrift store for $6, which is amazing. If you ever want to get or start film, and you don't want to purchase like a $30, $40, or sometimes even $100, $200 analog camera, definitely go to your local thrift store and find out like if they're selling one of these. And I guarantee you, you'll have a lot more fun with the outcome with these photos than you would with your iPhone or paying $700 or $1,000 for a digital camera. Along with that, this is the first camera that I bought off a Depop. So you can see the chain. I never really knew what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to get into this. It's an Olympus OM10, and I bought the strap off of eBay. This is like my baby, even though I kind of like cheat on this camera and use other cameras because I'm so open to trying different cameras like a rangefinder or even this. I know whenever I have like a shoot that I want to do, I definitely go back to this one because I'm able to like change the aperture and get like a blurry background. Other than like a camera like this, there's different settings on it that you can shoot on portrait or landscape or no flash that I'm sure will blur the background behind the person or the object. But with this one, I definitely get way more control and precision on like the photo that I want.
A Canon Rebel T6i with multiple lens attachments. So I use a telephoto lens, I use a wide angle, and I use an 18 standard 55 lens.
My mom actually bought this. It's a Panasonic Lumix, I believe. And she said she got it because it can zoom really far. And that's honestly like the best thing.
Right now I use the Canon 6D Mark II.
I don't think there's one specific photographer or artist that has influenced me the most and pushes me to want to pursue photography even further. It's just a mixture of everyone. Like my friends, almost all of my friends are creatives and they have a dream that they want to fulfill and conquer and happen in this lifetime. And I know everyone's dreams are going to happen, and it just motivates me to push myself to have that aspiration and that motivation, that drive to get to where I want to be. I guess a few of like my favorite photographers right now would have to be Willem Verbeek. He's on YouTube. There's a photographer that I learned in school called Vivian Mayer, and she was a nanny like way long time ago. And she was a nanny and she had a medium format camera, and every day when she would walk the children that she watched, she would take photos, street photography photos of people unknown would even know. And she literally had like almost 100,000, I believe, like archived film. Like she even had film she hadn't developed in the attic of the house of the family that she nannied. And years later, after she passed away, the children that she did nanny ended up finding out that she was a photographer. And that right there is so amazing because she didn't even I'm pretty sure she put her photos out there, she would have blown up, she would have became like a famous photographer. And the fact that she didn't shows how humbling that is, and that she really did it for her art and did it for herself.
I try not to get influenced, but it's really hard. But lately, I've been doing my lurking on the Instagram, and I found this photographer. Her name is Adrienne Raquel, I believe that's her name, and her work is amazing. She shot with Lizzo. She does this like glitter effect that I never seen before, so that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to be like a little bit.
I feel like women who are like on their grind really inspire me because it's like they're women and they're doing that and they're making it in their field.
I follow Humans of New York, and I really like their work, and that page actually inspired me to want to take more photos of people, and to actually, in New York we see people all the time. There's over 8 million people here and we ignore them. We just walk right past them. We don't really care. We're doing our own thing. So that kind of inspired me to like go on and maybe try to find more beauty in people, or more take the time to take pictures of people.
There are two people who really influence how I shoot. Jennifer Ben, who was a Canadian-born photographer. She shoots modern aesthetics. Everything about her shots is just super clean, like minimalistic, few colors. Like is just real good to look at. And then the second photographer, his name is Andre Jocelyn, who's a German-born photographer. He shoots on digital, but he makes his photos look like they're film, and it kind of just looks like he's capturing memories, right? And it's contradicting to each other because both of them have such different styles. One is clean, one is like a little bit gritty film, and but I love both of them. So it's kind of like hard for me like to have one type of style because I'm always switching back and forth.
How much you believe in yourself and how much you believe in your art is how far you're gonna go as an artist or a photographer. It doesn't even necessarily have to be just photography. If you're a painter and you really love your painting and you put it out there and you show people that you're serious about it, people will take you seriously about it. But if you kind of measly like, oh, I'm not gonna put this out there because I don't like it, or if you don't give yourself a chance to put yourself out there, or like you kind of shut yourself down before anyone even gives you any criticism or constructive criticism, definitely don't do that because you're just hurting yourself in the end.
So today I'm going to be filming my friends Stephanie and Kenya, my friends, and they have an event coming up tomorrow called Comelonas. It's a local foodie event where they prepare plant-based food for people in the Bronx. It's a 3-course meal with free drinks, and it's gonna be awesome. So today is the pre-preparation day, and tomorrow I'm gonna be filming the actual event. So basically, when I shoot in a low light situation, I have to adjust my camera settings so that it accommodates to that. So if this was a really dark space, like a party, I would be using something like this, ISO 1.4, and I would go down here. Or maybe I could just raise the ISO and mess around with this. When I first started, I thought my work was gonna be that poppin' that people were gonna find me through that. So I advise people to get out of their heads and out of their comfort zones, and if they see somebody whose work that they like, reach out to them, and to reach out to them. And if you really like what they do and they're local, ask them if they need help with a project, because you never know what you're gonna learn on set that day. You never know where that's gonna take you and if that's gonna open up any opportunities for you. I try to shoot, when it comes to documentaries, I try to shoot to edit, but that's something that you can't really stay loyal to. So what I like to do is capture really clean shots. I like to use blurriness in the beginning and ending of the shots, because that way I can transition in between clips. Like if, let's say I blurred into a line right now, I can blur out to somebody's face, so that'll keep things consistent. That's my thought process for like documentary filmmaking, B-roll, and that's also why I capture audio and I don't use too much talking heads. So I like to use a lot of B-roll on top of what people are saying.
A piece of advice is don't be afraid to do anything weird or strange or like being you, because there is no right and wrong way to do photography. There's no right and wrong way to make art. There is no boundaries or lines. I would just say learn the rules and then break them, because that's what makes you an individual, that what makes you an artist, you know? And I would say just like, even if you keep thinking that your work is bad, because we all struggle with self-doubt, we all have that moment of like, damn, my work is not good enough. Keep trying. Like at first, when you start out, your pictures or your art is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be pristine. It's not going to be 100%, but you're going to get there.
Boy, the bank on the road. Me and my safe living by the same code. I'm gonna need a few hundreds of thousands. I need a Rari that ain't got no mileage. Engine is loud, but I'm working in silence. 0 to 60 already hit sirens. I read your bitch signals. I'm hooked on her phonics. Want me to hustle, but I can't make no promise. You can't hold me down. Don't you see that I'm climbing? I don't need no crown. Don't you see I need diamonds? I bought for the hell of it, like I was celibate. Don't give a fuck, so much money I sell a bit. I'm on my etiquette. Niggas is delicate. Gon' need an arc, cause I flooded my neck and wrist. You so inadequate, I am not having it. So many L's, at some point you gon' have to quit. I'm so immaculate.